All right, here's a video of classic Bonham like motifs that he always did. One, of course, is that I got so many videos, geez. But just the triplet where triplets. Bonham loved to juxtapose triplets in sixteenths, and then sometimes play triplets as if they were sixteenths. So he'd accent like every fifth note as if it was sometimes like if you're going one E into two, like one E and two, but in a triplet it would like almost like a dotted thing. But he'd do the same thing in triplets too. He'd do like one E, or in sixteenths, like one E and a two E and a three E and a four E and a, or one and a two and a three and a four and a one and a, that kind of thing. Okay, so you have the triplet, the classic triplet. Bonham always led with his left hand, like a lot of live in Dazed and Confused, you'd see him just go up and out of that part. But I think he actually did it like the hard way in the studio recording, and sometimes early on live too. Okay, anyway, there's a triplet. So you can do any kind of combination with a triplet. This is actually a really good book. Rhythmic Patterns. It's right out of like 1962. Joe Cusitis, God love him. I know a lot of. This is actually a very popular book. I got this one about 15 years ago. But this has different combinations of how to go around the toms and stuff. Anyway, so the triplet. If you want to know Bonham, it's the triplet. And then you do, of course, the triplet. It's actually kind of like, I guess guys will call it quads, but that's the other thing too. You get a lot of mileage out of that. If you're just learning to play the drums and you want to impress people, just be like. Okay, that's the other thing too. It's the Stairway to Heaven fill. He actually plays it around the same time for the same record. They recorded Night Flight. I guess Night Flight was recorded for Zeppelin 4, but they brought it out on Physical Graffiti. But if you listen to Night Flight, he does the exact same fill in there when they're kind of cruising around that happy little part. He does the same thing in there. Let me see. So triplets, really big on. Again, as I did in the Lemon Song video, a lot of 16th stuff, like 1E into 2E into 3. So that's classic Bonham stuff, and that is just 1E into 2E into. Yeah, so it's just like fours. He also did a thing, I posted this in other videos too, but the stuff kind of gets obscure. My finger's still smarting from thwacking it. In Dazed Confused Live, he did this thing where he would play, and actually I did write this up, in 6/8 time. You have like a blues, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So what he'd do is sometimes he'd do triplets in there. So 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8 bird. You know what I mean? So here you go. These are eighth notes. Sorry. Uh-oh. I guess those would be eighth notes, wouldn't they? So put their little flag on them. Eighth notes. So 6/8 notes. Or if I say, 3, 4. 6/8. Anyway, so you tripletize here. Of course, these would be 16th note triplets if these are eighth notes. But, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. But then what he'd do is he'd do 16th, well, technically in 16, the 16th note feel would be 32nd notes, if I'm not mistaken. My reading or writing is. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a favorite John Bonham thing to do, is in 6/8 or a blues feel, to put like a 4-note feel in there. So anyway, that's what this would be. So you have this. You have the 6/8. Here are the triplets. Here are the fours, the 16 notes. But since these are eighth notes, these are 16th note triplets, and these are 32nd notes. But anyway, the point being is you can break the downbeat. 2 and a 3 and a and that's just a classic Bonham thing. And he'd be like in I Can't Quit You Baby, he'd be like, actually I made that in another video for a guy too. So, it's a lot, he does it, especially in that Royal Albert Hall, he does a lot of that. And he had the ability, and I can do it sometimes depending on the bass drum I'm playing, like how wacky it is. So it's a 3-note in a row, which can be, at faster tempos. It's hard to do. But he'd do that sometimes. And other times, like in the Lemon song, he would come out on the... It is easier sometimes to come out on the snare, so... But, if you're... the Bonham in his heyday, it'd be like... So that's something he'd do in a triplet, or in a triplet feel or 6/8. But then sometimes what he'd do in there too is he'd do what I said before, like paradiddles. He does that too, and I forget how he incorporates it in there, but it's essentially, again, it's the 16th feel in the 6/8, 1 and 2 and or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a classic Bonham thing. And then with paradiddles, he'd do this pattern a lot, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just a paradiddle. He did that a lot. And he might change up the sticking at the end sometimes, like to make it fit. I forgot, but anyway, so that's another thing. That's again 16ths over a triplet feel. And he did that a lot. He did that real fast sometimes, and it had a really cool sound to it, which was very similar to what he did in the live version of Dazed Confused. Remember Dazed Confused, there's that thing where he goes... I don't have my other floor tom here, but... Now, he could be playing in that Dazed Confused part, which I'll come back to. He could be hitting... I'm going... Thank God for the Earl's Court footage, because you can clearly see him doing that there. But the question is what's he doing with his right foot? I think he's going, instead of, his hands are definitely there going, he's accenting really hard with the left hand. So, at the very least, he's playing. buttressing up. When I go, you could be going, what I'm doing is I'm hitting the bass drum with my right hand. Well, not with my right hand, but at the same time. And that's probably what he's doing to fatten it up. So again, my hands are going real hard here. He'd be like, so that's without the bass drum buffering. And this is with it underneath the right hand, so. Sorry, hang on. And that's probably what he's doing there. But it, of course the high end goes. Kind of effect. Now to go back again to triplets and into like triplets with the 16ths. When he does that, and I know I always backtrack and go off on tangents. Anyway, the Led Zeppelin, the Dazed Confused thing I'm just showing you. That's a straight up six. It's not really related to this so much, but it sounds kind of the same. I mean, it is kind of the same. He's playing the same, you know, dugga 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 da, you know, dugga 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 da. It is a 16th. But there he is. I think what he's doing is matching up with. They're probably asking around rehearsal. Like you can hear earlier versions. He's trying to just match up with. You know, Jimmy Page is like blah 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 blah, and I think Bonham would just be fooling around playing stuff along with it. But anyway, as it goes back to the earlier days, as we're talking about, let's go back in time, 4 minutes to when I was. So. I can't tell you exactly, but I think sometimes he'd be like, you know, or maybe he'd be, I mean, and who's to say? He could have been doing one hand. You know what I mean? The point being is that it's a 16th, 1 hand, a 2 hand, a 3 hand, between, but toms to bass drum. So however you want to stick it. That's the point I make. All right. As an interesting aside, back to that Dazed Confused thing. What he does is once it starts going, you go. Then he starts doing paradiddles between the floor tom and the snare. Watch him again. Thank gosh for Earl's Court. If you're a true foam at the mouth Zeppelin freak like me. I'll slow it down a little. Sorry. So then you have triplets and then the quads. What's some other classic Bonham-y stuff you'd love to do? In the other video I gave you the so. That's classic. And I was telling there's the thing I was asking if people want to learn it like a more simple streamlined version of the turnaround. Bass drum in note right after the first snare note. And there is a fill in Stairway to Heaven which demonstrates Stairway to Heaven Live, which is funny. Somebody just posted yesterday where he does that. Where he's coming out of the in the Stairway to Heaven Live at the song remains the same. It's a cool fill. It almost sounds like he messes up, but he does a turnaround at the end of that fill. So where the guitar, out of there. There it is. There's that fill. I think one of the coolest fills in the whole world. All right, and now Bonzo's Montreux, which I do not play well, but anyway, but there it is again, the motif. It's all over the place. I mean, it's like his. I mean, it's like you might as well be wearing like a T-shirt that says it. You know, I mean, it's and it's great stuff. And then there's some other things that he did a lot. Again, that fill before I did in. God, I've still got this cold. The Lemon Song. So. Or to stick it, I think the way he does it. However he wants, however he sticks it. But later on, though, that fill sort of was more of a so. In Stairway to Heaven live and in Since I've Been Loving You live, so now you can stick it. You can stick it straight around the drums and just hit the downbeat with your foot. Or you can, of course, the second to last note you can do on the bass drum. That's a huge Bonham fill. And then he did, and then the lesser known, then what kind of came out a little after a little while, he did, of course, on Achilles Last Stand, which I touch up on another video, which is 16ths. It's which is classic. And you can totally hear, what's that drummer's name? DeRosier or whatever in Heart. He totally swipes Achilles Last Stand for, I don't even know the name of the song. You know what I mean. He's a great drummer, by the way, and he plays a good job on it. There's a drums-only thing on that Heart song, Barracuda. You can find a drums-only thing on Barracuda on YouTube, which is pretty cool. It's pretty solid. But anyway, it's total, you can tell that Michael DeRosier or whatever totally was probably just, that's like his tribute to Bonham. But anyway, so... Achilles Last Stand, he does that, and then some live stuff, you can hear him do that. So, that's the lead into the downbeat. So instead of... and then later, yeah, I mean, so, there's a couple more that he did, classic Bonham-y things that if you just practice those little motifs, you know, you get it, you know? But yeah, so I thought there were a couple more. I don't know why they're not occurring, and I'm sure there are. But yeah, so that's it. Anyway, so here are the Vista lights. So I hope you get a lot out of this video. I know I'm gonna start loading this video and be like, oh, I forgot those two things. Any questions or if you wanted me to try to, you know, solve any Led Zeppelin drum riddles for you, let me know. Thanks.